In a world where innovation, imagination, and collaboration have become the cornerstone of progress, the creative economy stands as the powerhouse and a catalyst for change. As we gather here today, we're surrounded by the environment that is rich in cultural expression, artistic endeavor, and innovative ideas that have the potential to shape the trajectory of our economies and our society. At a global level, culture has been recognized as an enabler of growth and sustainability. In 2021, the Rome Declaration of the G20 ministers firmly positioned culture as an engine for propelling sustainable socio-economic recovery. The UNESCO Conference on Cultural Policy and Sustainable Development, Mondial 2022, adopted the declaration affirming that culture as a global public good. These historic declarations have anchored culture at the heart of public policy and international cooperation by recognizing its intrinsic value for sustainable development. The UNESCO statistics reveal the staggering impact of the creative economy on the global stage. It's not just more than numbers, it's a testament to our capacity to envision and craft a world that is both vibrant and connected. The creative economy accounts for a remarkable 3.1% of the global GDP, 6.2% of all employment, and has showcased its resilience, embraced the digital era, and evolved to the demands of today's changing world. According to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, the valuation of the creative economy is expected to reach $985 billion in 2023, accounting for close to 10% of the global GDP before 2030. We are at the threshold of a new era where technology and creativity intersect in unprecedented ways. The digital economy and AI are opening doors to unlimited possibilities. India presently holds the presidency of the G20 till 30th of November 23. Let us continue on this remarkable journey and the momentum built towards unlocking the transformative power and advancement of creative and cultural economies. Thank you very much. With these opening remarks, I'd like to introduce and invite founder and chairperson of Avid Learning, Mrs. Madhuya, a prolific sitar player, Sanskrit scholar, board member of the Oxford Center of Hindu Studies, and a technology student, to extend her warm welcome to you all. We're just going to show you a short Avid video, and after that, we're going to welcome Mrs. Madhuya. Thank you.
On behalf of the Ruya family, Avid Learning and Essar Group, it is my privilege to extend our heartfelt greetings to all the esteemed speakers, distinguished guests, and participants joining us today. As a student of the arts, thank you, Essar, for your introduction, and the thirst to keep learning new things. I am a firm believer in learning never stops. Whatever age, whatever stage, you must keep learning. I founded Avid Learning 15 years ago with a vision for it to be a platform for engagement, encouragement, promotion, and facilitation to augment knowledge, to find visionaries and learned professionals in the field of arts, culture, and modern day thought like AI, NFTs, etc., where eternal students could make it their one stop to further knowledge. With 1,500 plus programs presented, 290 plus collaborations, and a great list of returning Avid attendees, also as a responsible guardian and stakeholder of Mumbai's cultural ecosystem, we are truly humbled by the affirmations we have received from our diverse audiences. Thank you, Essar, thank you, Avid team, for nurturing our dream and keeping the flag flying high. But this journey cannot stop here. This platform is now where prolific speakers, makers of today, handholders of tomorrow come together as a think tank to find solutions to global issues. One visionary catalyzes multiple such people. Our Prime Minister, with India's presidency of G20, has put India on another level and created guardians and thinkers, ignited powerful streams of thought, which are now uniting to protect our planet and our future generations. We are here creating an important legacy to pass on. We are here representing our country as Indians from various walks of life, with diverse talents, with a deep stirring within ourselves, a mighty river, which is gathering speed to transcend our own boundaries, tutored with the adage, a creative pen is mightier than the sword. Creativity is boundless. Creativity is invisible. Creativity is powerful. Creativity is the language we use to communicate the urgency of our dreams for a better tomorrow. With this, let us embark on this journey together, celebrating the arts, culture, and the power of collective creative thinking to better the best that we have ever done before. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ruya, for those very, very inspiring words. Now that's a tough act to follow, Sanjoy. Now it gives me immense pleasure to introduce a friend, mentor, collaborator, Sanjoy K. Roy, Managing Director, Teamwork Arts, Co-Chair, FICCI Arts and Culture Division. Sanjoy brings to the table a wealth of experience, insight, and profound understanding of how creative industries can serve as a catalyst for societal transformation. Please join me in giving Sanjoy a warm welcome after the short video by the Ministry of Culture on India's arts and cultural landscape. Thank you.
G20. One Earth, one family, one future.
Thank you, Essar and Mrs. Ruya, Jokes Nasuri, ladies and gentlemen. Why do we gather in these sort of gatherings to discuss culture? Why is culture so important? It's exactly what Mother Ruya said. Culture is boundless. And what Essar said, it is going to contribute 10% to the world's GDP. Many people still look at the world of culture, and many of us are the cholawalas, who they aren't quite able to control. And I think Mother Ruya's vision of 15 years ago to really bring together a place and create a platform for discussion and make it a think tank for culture. One of the problems that we have within the cultural community is that we are divided. We don't necessarily speak in one voice. And because we don't speak in one voice, or we don't have platforms like this to speak in one voice, people do take advantage of folks in the cultural sector, in the tourism sector, and we're not able to put our perspective out there. Dr. Jyotsna Suri, who's the chairperson emeritus, I keep forgetting, of our culture. Shrishma, there's place in front, please come. Of our creative sector in FICCI. One of the things we realized very quickly is that how do we get people to understand the value of this? So we said, let's group tourism and culture together as one sector in this large industry body called FICCI. And what has that done? That sort of unlocked both the potential of the tourism sector as well as the possibilities that culture offers for tourism. Even as we are talking and praising G20 and what it's done for the country, it's brought in so many different people, exposed them to so many different cities and places, created infrastructure which is absolutely vital in any kind of presentation, whether it's cultural or tourism. What we're noticing now is the interest for people to come into India is huge. When folks come for tourism to a country, to any place, and India only has 6 or 8 million tourists who come in, these are not non-residents Indians coming in, or people of Indian origin coming in, or people coming to do business. Just pure tourism. It's less than the number of people who go to the Prada Museum in Madrid. We are a country which is vast. We have mountains and seas, we have jungles and forests and huge diversity. Every 100 kilometers, everything changes in India. The way we dress, our celebrations, the way we get married, our languages, our dialects, our history. You scratch a wall, you will find stories to be told. I remember going out to, I think it was Brazil or some such place, and we went to this beautifully preserved heritage site which had, I think, some total of 25 bricks denoting an earlier civilization. And there was a tourist center, there was a museum, there was a 3D rendition of what this looked like. There were fabulous toilet facilities, very important. And at the end of the day, there was a merchandising shop as they celebrated these 17 or 18 bricks. We have such a wealth in India, and we have no idea how to be able to celebrate it in this way. We have to do so. We have to understand for ourselves our own philosophy and culture, not necessarily what is being sold to us in today's day and age as culture and tradition and religion, but really the deepest intuitive sense of humanity and empathy. Because that's what culture does, right? I mean, why is Marx so invested in culture? Why is Bruce in NCPAs fighting to get the world of theatre out, or Tim at the NMAX Center? Why are we doing all of this? For what purpose? Because it allows us a way to be able to celebrate our stories. It allows us a way to be able to bring together that sense of humanity, which is what? Empathy. Empathy is what separates us from the animal kingdom or from anywhere else. And yet we are seeing in today's day and age, empathy in itself is being challenged. And for every lynching, for every murder, for every genocide that we are seeing across the length and breadth, not just in this country but the world, this is being mortgaged, empathy. Do remember that 100,000 years ago or less, we started migrating out of Africa. And it is this migration that brought the richness that we are seeing today of different civilizations and different people, of the art and culture, whether it's in the rocks in Uluru in Australia or in Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. Without migration, none of this would have happened. And yet we are being told today that migration is not something that should be encouraged. That artists who've continued to preserve the word, who've continued to tell us the way of being in those cave paintings, are not allowed to travel out to different countries. In the UNESCO declaration about, I think in 2014 or 15, Junie will be able to correct me, this was one of the things that was adopted and signed off by 97 countries to allow for the free travel of artists, to allow for the sharing of culture and information between people. And why is that important? Because if we don't get to know about each other, about our religions, our ways of life, languages, our dialects, we in our ignorance will continue to look at the other, as the evil, as something to be hated. It is through culture and a sharing of knowledge that we can push back on ignorance. And by pushing back on ignorance, we can and must collectively push back on hatred and push back on violence. There is no place for violence in our world today. And the one thing and one way that we are going to be able to do this is through culture. So it's not necessarily only the responsibility of Mark or Avid or Bruce or NCP or whatever. It is the responsibility of every one of us. And again at the end, I'd like to thank Madhu Maria and the Essar group for understanding this. And Madhu, more strength to you, and hopefully more and more corporates, as they're doing today. The Lalit group, for example, is one of them, the Mahindras, the Tatas. We need everybody to join this mission. Because that is the essential point of today. We are gathered here to talk about arts and what's ailing it, what we need to do, how do we need to go forward. We need to involve young people in the administration of the arts. Rajitri is here from, again, NMAC. Thank you for coming, Rajitri. It's people like you who these conferences are for. So thank you so much. Once again, Asad, thank you. Sadhana, thank you for being co-conspirators in FICCI and our great sort of pledge that we have to make it important to bring culture, tourism and the entire creative sector together. Thank you. Have a fabulous festival.